Now for the WoezorTV report, let's take a look at the headlines. Thanks so much for joining us. Now let's settle in for the details of the story. President John Dramani Mahama has held high-level bilateral talks with Jamaican leaders as part of his 4-day state visit to Jamaica, aimed at strengthening cooperation between the two countries. The president was formally welcomed at King's House in Kingston by Jamaica's Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen before meeting Prime Minister Andrew Holness at the office of the Prime Minister. The two leaders held private discussions followed by bilateral talks between their respective delegations. Discussions focused on expanding trade and investment, promoting cultural and educational exchanges, and enhancing cooperation on regional and global issues. The day's engagement ended with a joint media briefing where President Mahama and Prime Minister Holness reaffirmed their commitments to deepening the long-standing historical and diplomatic ties between Ghana and Jamaica.
The bilateral air services agreement between us is currently before our Parliament, and we'll fast-track it so that it becomes operational, so that either national carriers between Jamaica and Ghana or third-party carriers can fly direct flights from Accra to Montego Bay. We also discussed, and importantly, Mr. Prime Minister mentioned that the Defense Cooperation Agreement, and that would allow us to have exchanges between our military. But more importantly, like Mr. Prime Minister said, it will allow us to respond to disaster in each other's country in a more timely manner. We're proud that our soldiers came and gave whatever little support they could. We received them back home with pride. They themselves were so at home that they were not in a hurry to come. And so they asked for 3 extensions, which were all granted. And I'm sure if Prime Minister had not begged them and said, look, they need you at home too, they would probably have sought permanent residence here. But we're proud to hear the work they were able to do.
Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness has reaffirmed his country's commitment to deepening relations with Ghana following President John Mahama's state visit. He said the visit builds on long-standing diplomatic ties and recent bilateral agreements, including cooperation in health, defense, arts, and culture. Prime Minister Holness noted that Ghanaian health professionals are expected to support Jamaica's healthcare system while both countries explore further collaboration in education, tourism, and air services.
Agreement is already reaping benefits with the anticipated arrivals of nurses to support Jamaica's healthcare system. We expect to expand our relations to include deepened cooperation in health, education, tourism, and air services, the parameters of which we discussed extensively today. And I must say, Mr. President, I'm particularly pleased of the discussions as it relates to air services agreements, the expansion of tourism, and indeed I'm hopeful that in the very near future we could see direct flights from Accra to Montego Bay. In addition, as Jamaica seeks to strengthen its commercial and investment ties with Ghana as part of a broader engagement with continental Africa. The virtual investment and new market ministerial business mission, which was held last month, would have connected many Jamaican companies and companies in Ghana, and we are seeing results already in areas of logistics, tourism, hospitality, agro-processing, ICT, fintech, and the creative industries.
During his engagement in Jamaica on Monday, President John Mahama addressed a high-level reparations dialogue at the University of the West Indies, reaffirming Ghana's commitment to advancing the global reparations agenda. He said the transatlantic slave trade and colonialism created a lasting structural inequalities that continue to affect people of African descent. As the union's champion on reparations, President Mahama stressed that reparatory justice extends beyond financial compensations to include restitution, rehabilitation, historical accountability, educational opportunities, and the restoration of dignity. He urged the international community to move beyond acknowledged historical injustices and adopt concrete legal, diplomatic, and economic measures to deliver meaningful and lasting justice. Still on the president, he has directed that the 2 Ghana cedi per litre reduction in the regulatory margin on diesel effective Tuesday, August 4, 2026 to cushion consumers from rising fuel prices. The 1-month measure announced by government spokesperson Felix Quartey is intended to prevent transport fare increases, ease inflationary pressures, and provide relief to businesses and households. The reduction applies only to diesel with no subsidy for petrol and may be reviewed after 1 month. It is the second such government intervention in response to high global fuel prices and pressure on the market. Now, the High Court has ordered the freezing of 5 bank accounts and 4 landed properties belonging to former Executive Secretary of the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization, Dennis Miracle Sabwaje, as part of an ongoing Iyoko investigation into alleged financial and procurement irregularities involving about 55 million Ghana cedis. The court's order bars any transaction on the accounts and prevents the sale or transfer of the properties until further notice. Mr. Abwaje has denied any wrongdoing and has been granted 50 million Ghana cedi bail with 3 sureties while investigations continue. Now, away from that, a major road traffic collision on the Accra-Kumasi Highway has claimed 2 lives after a fuel tanker, an STC bus, and a Mitsubishi pickup and a Kia Sorento collided on the Brimsel Bridge on the N6 highway. The impact sparked a massive fire, completely destroying the fuel tanker, the STC bus, and the Mitsubishi pickup. The Kia Sorento sustained extensive damage. Personnel from the Bonso and Suhum municipal fire stations, with support from officers of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department in Kibi, responded to the scene and brought the fire under control. The Ghana National Fire Service says 7 people, including 5 males and 2 females, were involved in the crash. 2 people were confirmed dead, while the conditions of the remaining victims have not been yet officially disclosed. Now, the Ghana Gold Board has dismissed as false claims circulating on social media that Dominic Bonsu Ventures absconded with 200 million Ghana cedis belonging to the institution. Gold Board also denied reports that the proprietor, Dominic Bonsu, was ever a bodyguard to its chief executive officer, Sami Jenfi, describing the allegation as completely false. The board explained that Dominic Bonsu Ventures' license was suspended over suspected breaches of the Gold Board trading directives, after which Dominic Bonsu was arrested and remanded into lawful custody by the High Court in Accra. The case remains before the courts. In other news, the Narcotic Control Commission, NACOC, has arrested 10 students of the Koforidua Technical University for allegedly trafficking cannabis-infused drinks and ice creams during the Student Representatives Council Hall Week celebration. The intelligence-led operation carried out between July 31 and August 1 led to the arrest of the suspected ringleader, 23-year-old Priscilla Tete, and 9 others who were allegedly producing, distributing, and selling the cannabis-infused products on campus. NACOC says the operation disrupted an organized network targeting students with narcotic-laced consumables. The Commission has warned that cannabis-infused food and beverages remain illegal and vowed to intensify operations against drug trafficking, especially within educational institutions. The 10 suspects remain in NACOC custody and are expected to face prosecution in accordance with the law. Time now for some international news. Five people were killed in a drone strike by the Sudanese army on a traditional court session in the north of Darfur region, a local rights organization has said. Dozens more were reported injured in Sunday afternoon's attack. The emergency lawyers group, which monitors violence against civilians, said the attack occurred in Gara al-Zawaya village that is controlled by the paramilitary rapid support forces. The army has not commented. The RSF holds most of Darfur in the west of the country as the two sides continue to fight in the 3-year-long civil war that has devastated the country, killed tens of thousands of people, and forced millions from their homes. Sunday's court session was being held under a tree with the participation of local community leaders, according to an eyewitness. 4 tribal leaders and 2 RSF commanders were among those killed in the attack, according to the witness. Now this brings us to the end of the WoezorTV report. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Karen. Now you're Quartey.